In the 1970s, family dinners were all about plenty of dishes and togetherness. Grandma's recipes filled the table with hearty, homemade dishes that brought everyone together. Let's revisit 25 forgotten classics that might just bring back those warm, nostalgic flavors. The first on our list will be ham and pineapple bake.
Today, we're making a southern baked ham with a pineapple honey glaze. Let's get it.
Ham and pineapple bake was a sweet, savory masterpiece that captured the essence of 1970s cooking. It was a popular Hawaiian-inspired dish. You would always ask for more when you taste this. Inspired by the growing popularity of Hawaiian flavors, it became a go-to comfort dish. But do you know pineapple wasn't always a common ingredient in savory dishes? But it became a thing in the mid-20th century that canned pineapple became a thing. Affordable and widely available in all stores. This recipe was simple but packed with flavor. You'd layer slices of ham with pineapple rings, brown sugar, and mustard, then bake until caramelized. It was a bold blend of flavors that felt both nostalgic and adventurous. This dish felt very exotic and family-like at the same time. The combination of the salty ham and sweet pineapple made every bite a delightful surprise. Plus, it was easy to prepare, which meant it quickly became a go-to comfort food for busy family. If this dish hit the sweet spot, the next one definitely hit some note. Next is chicken a la king.
Today on the Stay-at-Home Chef, I'm showing you how to make chicken a la king.
Chicken a la king was a dish fit for royalty, or at least it felt that way in the 1970s. Surprisingly, its origins are American, not French. Most people thought it was French. Legend has it that chicken a la king was first served in the early 20th century, but it really took off in home kitchens during the 1970s. Families loved its hearty ingredients and luxurious taste. The dish featured tender chunks of chicken, sautéed mushrooms, and peas, all simmered in a velvety cream sauce. It was usually served over rice, noodles, or even toast. What made this dish so appealing was its versatility. You could use leftover chicken or turkey, making it an economical choice. Plus, the ingredients were simple but created a rich, satisfying meal. The creamy sauce was often enhanced with sherry or pimentos for an extra layer of flavor. Preparing chicken a la king was straightforward but felt fancy. You'd start by cooking the chicken and mushrooms, then stir in a creamy mixture of butter, flour, milk, and broth. Once thickened, the peas and chicken were added, creating a sauce that was both comforting and indulgent. This dish brought sweet and savory together in an unexpected way. The third on the list is a beef stroganoff.
And today we are making classic beef stroganoff with tender strips of beef and mushrooms.
Imagine tender, golden seared beef strips, juicy and flavorful, swimming in a rich, velvety mushroom gravy, infused with the tangy warmth of sour cream. That's the magic of beef stroganoff, a comforting classic that's ready in just 30 minutes, but tastes like it's been simmering for hours. Get ready to fall in love with every luxurious bite. When it came to this retro classic, only good quality, well-marbled steak would do. Think boneless ribeye or sirloin. That's what gave the dish its luxurious, melt-in-your-mouth texture and rich flavor that made every bite unforgettable. And then there was the family's secret weapon, the 30-second sear, though no one called it that back then. At every gathering, it was an unspoken ritual. The skillet would heat to a smoking hot sizzle, and someone, whether it was mom, dad, or even your uncle, would quickly sear those thin strips of beef with precision. Just 30 seconds on each side, no more. The meat would still be a bit pink, but everyone knew it would finish cooking to perfection in that rich, velvety sour cream mushroom gravy. Remember that rich, creamy sauce and those golden, seared strips of beef? This was a family favorite for a reason. A simple, hearty dish that brought everyone to the table. Next on our list is tuna noodle casserole.
Tuna noodle casserole. That's right, I'm going to show you how to make what I consider the king of the comfort food casseroles.
This tuna casserole isn't just any ordinary dish. It's the kind that even the pickiest eaters won't be able to resist. It's a family classic, a real bond builder that brings everyone to the table and keeps them there. I like to call it the fight fixer because one bite and you're almost guaranteed to be forgiven for whatever you did. Tuna noodles topped with a golden, crunchy layer of potato chip. Every bite is pure comfort. Serve it alongside some roasted Brussels sprouts and you've got a meal that brings everyone back for seconds. So what do you need to make this meal? Don't worry, it's one of those easy peasy meals. Start by cooking the noodles until they're perfectly tender. Then mix them with creamy soup, a cup of shredded cheese, tuna, and your favorite veggie. Peas work great. Pour the mixture into a baking dish. Top it with crushed potato chips and the rest of the cheese, and bake until the cheese is bubbly and everything smells amazing. Honestly, the dish can be a meal all on its own, but if you want to spice it up with something extra, add a fresh salad paired perfectly with the rich, creamy casserole. In case you don't have enough time on your sleeve, assemble the casserole the the night before. Cover it tightly and pop it in the fridge. When you're ready to eat, just bake it according to the recipe, and you're good to go. Easy, right? So why not bring this nostalgic classic back to your dinner table? It's simple, satisfying, and guaranteed to bring a little extra warmth to your next family meal. The fifth on our list is the Sloppy Joes. This one of the old-time favorites. It's the kind of meal that comes together in one pan, no stress. Nothing hits the spot like a good old Sloppy Joe. This classic favorite is pure comfort food, bringing back memories of simpler times around the dinner table. It's quick, easy to make, and uses ingredients you probably already have in your kitchen. Perfect for feeding a hungry crowd or just satisfying those cozy cravings. Ground beef simmered in a tangy tomato-based sauce, served on soft hamburger buns, made for a simple yet flavorful dinner. This dish was a kid-friendly staple that required minimal ingredients and effort, but delivered big on taste and fun. Here's a quick rundown of what you can expect when making these classic Sloppy Joes. Start by cooking the beef, onion, and green pepper. Once that's done, drain the liquids and stir in the remaining ingredients. Let everything simmer for about 30 minutes, then serve it all on hamburger buns. Nicole McLaughlin, aka Nicole McMom, swears by using pantry staples to create the perfect Sloppy Joe. She prefers to use the rendered fat to saute the onions and peppers, so she opts for lean meat. When it comes to buns, she believes the cheaper, the better, since you want them to soak up all the juicy goodness. They also go well with diner-style sides like homemade crispy seasoned French fries, homemade mac and cheese, refrigerator dill pickles, restaurant-style house salad, and Boston baked beans. This is a classic meal that's full of flavor and guaranteed to satisfy. The sixth is a meatloaf.
Classic family meatloaf. Here we go.
Meatloaf might not always get the spotlight it deserves, but when done right, it's pure comfort food at its best. That tender, juicy meatloaf topped with a tangy tomato glaze hits the spot every time, whether for dinner or as leftovers the next day. Hello, meatloaf sandwich. It's the kind of dish that brings warmth and satisfaction with every bite. Each family has its twist, passed down through generations, making it a staple at many Sunday dinners. Now, here's the secret to great meatloaf. Milk. It hydrates the breadcrumbs that hold everything together, keeping the loaf moist and tender. Non-dairy milk works just as well. There are a couple of tricks to making a meatloaf that holds together in nice, clean slices. First, make sure you're using a recipe with the right amount of binders, like egg and breadcrumbs, which act as the glue that keeps the meatloaf intact. Choosing ground beef with a finer grind, or even double ground beef, will also help the mixture bind better. Coarse ground beef can lead to crumbling when you slice it. Another key tip is to mince the onion as finely as possible. Large chunks of onion can make the loaf harder to slice and keep it from holding together properly. Seventh is the popular shepherd's pie.
Alright, so this shepherd's pie contains 4 distinctly Irish ingredients, the first of which, as you can imagine, is potatoes.
There's something undeniably comforting about a classic shepherd's pie, or cottage pie, depending on where you're from. This hearty dish features ground beef or lamb, simmered with vegetables and a rich, savory gravy, all topped with a golden layer of cheesy mashed potatoes. It's the kind of meal that feels like a warm hug on a plate, perfect for cozy family dinners or when you need something filling and satisfying. It's a timeless favorite that never disappoints. To make this delicious dish, start by sautéing chopped onions in olive oil. Then add your choice of ground beef or lamb. Sprinkle in dried parsley, thyme, rosemary, salt, and pepper, and cook the meat until it's nicely brown. Toss in minced garlic and Worcestershire sauce and let it cook for a minute. Then add flour and tomato paste to thicken the mixture, followed by beef broth, frozen mixed peas and carrots, and corn. Let the meat mixture simmer until it thickens into a savory gravy. While that's simmering, boil peeled and chopped potatoes until they're soft. Once drained, mash them with butter, half and half, Parmesan cheese, garlic powder, salt, and pepper until they're smooth and creamy. Next, pour the meat mixture into a casserole dish and spread the cheesy mashed potatoes on top. Bake until the meat is bubbling and the potatoes are golden and slightly crispy on top. The result is a warm, comforting shepherd's pie that's perfect for any occasion. Eighth on the list is stuffed bell peppers.
We are making taco stuffed peppers and you are going to love them. They are so easy, definitely a great thing to make in advance.
Stuffed bell peppers were a staple of 1970s home-cooked meals, bringing both color and comfort to the dinner table. Picture this: vibrant bell peppers hollowed out with care and filled with a savory mixture of ground beef, rice, and tender tomatoes, all seasoned with a medley of spices. After being stuffed to the brim, these peppers were then baked to perfection, softening the vegetables while keeping the filling hearty and flavorful. The result was a dish that felt both homely and a little adventurous. The combination of crunchy bell pepper and savory beef filling provided the ideal balance, with each bite offering a unique burst of flavor. It was one of those dishes that always seemed to be at family gatherings or cozy weeknight dinners, making it both comforting and filling. The bright, cheerful colors of the peppers alone made the meal visually appealing, while the tasty filling ensured this dish was anything but basic. Stuffed bell peppers were the kind of dish that showed how simple ingredients, when combined in just the right way, could create something truly satisfying. Ninth is a beef Wellington.
Beef Wellington. It almost feels like a rite of passage for a YouTube chef to
Beef Wellington was the epitome of sophistication and luxury in the 1970s. For special occasions, be it a holiday feast or a celebratory dinner, it was the showstopper, demanding attention from everyone at the table. At its core, Beef Wellington is a perfectly cooked beef tenderloin, coated with a decadent layer of mushroom duxelles, then wrapped in golden, flaky puff pastry. The layers combined to create a melt-in-your-mouth experience that was rich, savory, and absolutely unforgettable. This dish took time to prepare, often requiring hours of careful preparation, precise seating, and careful wrapping, but the result was worth every minute spent. The first slice revealed a perfectly cooked beef tenderloin, juicy and tender, surrounded by a delicate crust that held the mushrooms and pastry together. Beef Wellington was reserved for the truly special occasion, often at the center of lavish dinner parties or celebratory feasts. Every bite of the Wellington felt like an indulgent, a true representation of the 1970s love for lavish, luxurious dining that didn't shy away from complexity or extravagance. 10th is a chicken cordon bleu.
Hey, I'm John Cannell, and today on Preppy Kitchen, we're making a delicious chicken cordon bleu. So let's get started.
Chicken cordon bleu brought a touch of French culinary elegance to the average dinner table, but it was also a dish that could be made quickly enough to enjoy on a busy weeknight. The concept was simple, yet the execution was so satisfying. Boneless chicken breasts were stuffed with layers of savory ham and Swiss cheese, then breaded and either baked or fried to create a golden, crispy crust. As soon as you cut into the chicken, the melted cheese would ooze out, mixing perfectly with the salty ham to create a combination of flavors that felt indulgent and comforting all at once. The crunchy exterior, combined with the juicy chicken and gooey interior, made every bite a joy. It was a dish that made you feel like you were eating something special without being overly complicated to prepare. Chicken cordon bleu was a favorite, not just for dinner, but for occasions when you wanted to impress guests or simply indulge in a little culinary luxury. It was one of those recipes that balanced elegance with simplicity, providing the perfect excuse to add a bit of finesse to a classic dinner with family or friends. 11th meal on our list is deviled ham. This old-school deviled ham recipe is a true classic that's both simple and packed with flavor. It takes leftover ham and transforms it into a savory spread, dip, or topping that's perfect for sandwiches, crackers, or even as a quick snack. With just a few ingredients and a little bit of mixing, you'll have a delicious, crowd-pleasing dish that's perfect for any occasion. This homemade version is just like the stuff I loved as a kid, but without the mystery ingredient. It's simple, finely chopped ham, mayo, mustard, and spices all mixed together. You can make a big batch, and trust me, it'll disappear fast. Whether you're spreading it, dipping it, or piling it high on bread, it's one of those comfort foods that takes you right back to those carefree lunch breaks. Just a scoop of that deviled ham on a saltine, the salty crunch paired with that smooth, creamy filling was the best. A deviled ham sandwich was as easy as it was delicious. It didn't have to be fancy, just good old bread and lots of that savory, spreadable ham. We'd even dip it with veggies or chips like Fritos or celery sticks. It was a snack, a dip, and sometimes even lunch, all in one. 12th is the Swedish meatballs. There's something irresistible about a plate of Swedish meatballs. Small, savory meatballs simmered in a creamy, rich gravy made from beef broth and sour cream, creating the perfect blend of flavors. When served over noodles or rice, this dish feels like a warm hug in a bowl. But did you know that this dish was a staple during the 70s because it was affordable and comforting? Yes, Swedish meatballs became a popular choice for families who needed something hearty on a budget. It wasn't just about the taste, it was about the practicality. Ground beef, the main ingredient, was inexpensive, and sour cream and beef broth could be found in most kitchens. The dish was simple to prepare. Ground beef, breadcrumbs, eggs, and seasonings were shaped into meatballs, fried until golden, then simmered in a creamy gravy. And the best part, the leftovers were just as good the next day, making it a great meal for busy families. Though it has Swedish roots, the dish quickly became a beloved comfort food in America. It didn't take long before families across the country were enjoying these savory morsels, with the creamy gravy making everything feel a little bit more special. casserole. From a humble meal to a dinner table staple, this dish was the epitome of 70s comfort food, just like the next one, packed with layers and flavor. 13th meal is eggplant parmesan.
Today on the Stay at Home Chef, I'm showing you how to make the best baked eggplant parmesan.
It's hard not to enjoy a dish like eggplant parmesan. Crispy breaded eggplant slices, layered with marinara sauce, and smothered in melted mozzarella cheese. Baked until bubbly and golden, it was a delicious, meatless option that satisfied even the most devout carnivores. But did you know that eggplant parmesan was considered the perfect comfort food for families looking to save money in the 70s? Eggplants were affordable, and the dish required only a few ingredients: eggplant, breadcrumbs, marinara sauce, and cheese, which made it an accessible option for many home cooks. Making this dish was as simple as it was satisfying. First, the eggplant slices were breaded and fried to a crispy perfection. Then they were layered with tangy marinara sauce and gooey mozzarella, baked until golden. The result? A hearty dish that could easily feed a crowd. Eggplant parmesan didn't just fill the stomach, it filled the heart. And it became a go-to for Meatless Monday, providing families with an option that was both filling and budget-friendly. While this dish was a hit with many, if you love cheese and comfort, the next dish takes that combination to the next level. 14th meal is macaroni and cheese casserole.
If you're looking for the ultimate comfort food, you've got to make a big old batch of my baked mac and cheese recipe.
Who doesn't love the cheesy, creamy goodness of macaroni and cheese? But in the 70s, it was more than just a side. It often took center stage as the main dish. Made with elbow macaroni and a rich, creamy cheese sauce, then baked until golden and bubbly, it was the ultimate comfort food. Did you know that the mac and cheese became such a hit during the 70s because it was affordable and easy to make? It didn't require fancy ingredients, just a box of macaroni, some milk, butter, and cheese. Families could feed a crowd without breaking the bank, and it was something that could be whipped up quickly. The casserole version took it a step further by adding a crunchy breadcrumb topping, creating the perfect balance of crispy and creamy. Plus, leftovers could be kept and reheated the next day, which made it a great meal prep option for busy families. Mac and cheese casserole became a beloved dish, making its mark on the 70s dinner table. If you think cheese and pasta are a match made in heaven, the next dish will definitely surprise you with its unique yet nostalgic flavor. And the 15th on the list is Jell-O salad.
It's today. I've got a vintage dessert for you. You know I love these with the Jell-O in them. This one is a 7-Up lime Jell-O salad.
There's no mistaking the vibrant colors and jiggly texture of Jell-O salad. This retro favorite was more than just a dessert. It was often served as a side dish, bringing something fun and sweet to the dinner table. But did you know that Jell-O salad was the ultimate 70s food trend because it combined the sweet and savory in ways that other dishes couldn't? The gelatin-based salad could be mixed with a variety of fruits, vegetables, and even marshmallows, making it as quirky as it was colorful. Its versatility was what made Jell-O salad so popular. You could make it with lime Jell-O and cottage cheese for a tangy kick, or with strawberry Jell-O and a fruit cocktail for a sweet treat. The contrast of textures, from the firm gelatin to the soft fruits, was what made this dish stand out. Jell-O salad was the kind of dish that could spark a conversation at the dinner table, and even if it wasn't always everyone's favorite, it was certainly memorable. This dish encapsulated the playful spirit of the 70s, much like the next one, which features a surprising twist on a classic comfort food. 16th is baked ziti.
Today, you're gonna learn how to make baked ziti. It is a beefy, cheesy, saucy pasta casserole. You're gonna love it.
Baked ziti was the epitome of comfort food in the 1970s, bringing families and friends together with its hearty layers of pasta, rich tomato sauce, and melted cheese. It was a go-to dish for dinner parties and gatherings, offering a warm, satisfying meal that required minimal fuss. Its simple ingredients, ziti pasta, marinara sauce, ricotta cheese, and mozzarella, were inexpensive and easy to find, making it an affordable choice for feeding large groups. What made baked ziti even more beloved was its versatility. You could easily customize it by adding ground beef, sausage, or vegetables, giving it a personal touch to suit every taste. Whether you wanted a meaty, savory version or a vegetarian-friendly option, baked ziti never disappointed. And once it was baked, the cheese would turn golden and crispy on top, while the pasta inside remained perfectly tender. The layers of flavor and texture created a dish that felt indulgent without being complicated. Plus, baked ziti made for great leftovers, keeping its deliciousness intact the next day, making it a favorite for busy families. It was an easy, fuss-free meal that made everyone feel like they were indulging in something special, making it a lasting classic in kitchens across America. 17th meal is a chicken fried steak.
This Southern staple is the epitome of comfort food. Let's make chicken fried steak.
Chicken fried steak was a beloved Southern dish that gained popularity across the U.S. in the 1970s. Tender-breaded and fried steak was served with a creamy white gravy, making it a rich, indulgent comfort food. Often paired with mashed potatoes, green beans, or cornbread, it was a meal that felt like a treat, perfect for family dinners or any night when a filling, hearty meal was needed. Next on our list, the pot roast.
The kitchen, we are recreating, revisiting, paying some attention to the pot roast.
Pot roast was the slow-cooked, melt-in-your-mouth dish that every grandma had perfected. Whether it was cooked in a Dutch oven or slow cooker, the tender beef roast, vegetables, and rich gravy were the heart of many family dinners. The beauty of pot roast lay in its simplicity. As the roast cooked low and slow, it infused the potatoes, carrots, and onions with its savory juices, creating a one-pot meal that required little attention but delivered big rewards. The resulting gravy, thick and rich from the beef's natural juices, was pure comfort, perfect for spooning over the tender meat and vegetables. For many, pot roast was the kind of dish that could feed a crowd, with leftovers often serving as the perfect base for sandwiches, stews, or soups in the days that followed. Whether served with mashed potatoes, crusty bread, or a fresh salad, pot roast has a way of bringing people together. 19th meal is a cabbage roll.
Today in this episode, we're making up another easy and delicious recipe, cabbage rolls.
The cabbage rolls emerged as a quintessential family meal, embodying comfort and home-cooked tradition. These delicate parcels, crafted with care, combined seasoned beef and rice nestled within tender, blanched cabbage leaves, then lovingly baked in a rich tomato sauce. While the classic recipe featured a straightforward blend of beef, rice, and seasonings, families often personalized their approach. Some introduced pork, while others experimented with vegetable additions, ensuring no two batches were exactly alike. The versatility of cabbage rolls extended beyond their filling, whether served alongside creamy mashed potatoes, accompanied by crusty bread, or enjoyed independently. These rolls promised a heartwarming dining experience. Each bite transported diners back to warm kitchen memories, evoking feelings of togetherness and nostalgia. The cabbage roll stood as more than a meal. It was a cherished connection to family history, a timeless comfort food that continued to bring people together, one delicious roll at a time. 20th is the fried fish and hush puppies.
Hey, what's up? Today, I'm gonna show you guys how to make a country-ass Missouri-style fried catfish at home, plus some crispy, fluffy hush puppies to bring it all together.
When it comes to a southern fish fry, there's one thing that nearly everyone can agree on: hush puppies. Whether you're in the heart of the South or just a fan of southern cooking, it's almost impossible to imagine a fried catfish platter without those crispy, golden brown cornmeal fritters by its side. Hush puppies are essentially cornmeal fritters, often mixed with just a handful of ingredients like cayenne pepper, garlic, and chopped onions. The batter is simple, but the results are anything but. These little bites are crispy on the outside, tender on the inside, and add a wonderful contrast to the fried fish. You can easily customize them by adding extras like cheese or herbs if you're feeling adventurous, but honestly, the classic recipe is perfect just the way it is. Making hush puppies at home is surprisingly easy. The batter should be thick, almost like dough, so you can roll it by hand into small balls about the size of a walnut. These balls are then carefully dropped into hot oil, where they cook up into golden, crispy bites that are irresistible. The key here is making sure the oil is hot enough, around 375 degrees Fahrenheit. If it's too cool, your hush puppies will soak up oil and become greasy. If it's too hot, they'll burn on the outside before cooking through. 21st meal is lasagna.
It's cheesy, comforting, and indulgent. A truly great lasagna can turn a bad day into a really good one. Here is our recipe for the ultimate lasagna.
Lasagna was the ultimate comfort food of the 1970s, perfect for family dinners and special occasions. With its rich layers of pasta, savory meat sauce, creamy bechamel, and melted cheese, it was a dish that never failed to impress. Inspired by traditional Italian recipes, lasagna became a favorite because it was hearty, satisfying, and easily customizable. The classic version featured a meat sauce made from ground beef, tomatoes, and herbs, layered between sheets of pasta and topped with cheese. The result was a rich, filling meal that everyone loved. Lasagna wasn't just about flavor. It was about gathering around the table. It could feed a crowd, making it perfect for family get-togethers, and leftovers were always a bonus. Its ability to be prepared in advance made it a go-to dish for busy families looking for something hearty and satisfying. 22nd meal is jambalaya rice.
This jambalaya recipe is Louisiana's classic one-pot meal that's a hearty blend of
chicken, sausage, shrimp, veggies, and rice.
When it comes to classic Southern comfort food, jambalaya rice holds a special place in the hearts of many. Whether you're deep in Louisiana or simply a lover of Creole cooking, it's hard to imagine a Southern feast without this flavorful, hearty dish. Jambalaya is a savory one-pot rice dish, often packed with ingredients like smoked sausage, shrimp, and chicken, all seasoned with a rich blend of spices such as cayenne pepper, paprika, and thyme. While the ingredients are humble, the result is a symphony of bold, comforting flavors that tells a story with every bite. You can customize jambalaya rice to suit your tastes, add extra seafood for a coastal flair, or swap out proteins for a vegetarian version. The possibilities are endless. Cooking jambalaya at home is easier than you might think. Start by sautéing the holy trinity of Southern cooking: onions, bell peppers, and celery until they're soft and fragrant. Then add your meat, spices, and uncooked rice. The key here is letting everything simmer together so the rice absorbs all those delicious juices and spices. The secret to perfect jambalaya? Patience. Let it cook low and slow until the rice is tender and each grain is infused with flavor. Stirring too much can make the rice sticky, so let it rest and soak up that magic. 23rd meal is spaghetti bolognese.
Well, today's recipe is spaghetti bolognese.
Spaghetti bolognese was a comforting classic that became a staple on family dinner tables in the 1970s. With its rich, savory sauce and perfectly cooked pasta, this dish had a way of bringing everyone together. Inspired by Italian flavors, it was simple, yet packed with hearty goodness. The key to its flavor was in the slow-simmered meat sauce made with ground beef, tomatoes, and aromatic vegetables like onions, garlic, carrots, and celery. While spaghetti was already a popular pasta choice, bolognese gave it a deliciously rich twist, making it a favorite for busy families looking for both flavor and ease. This dish wasn't just about filling bellies, it was about tradition and togetherness. You'd simmer the sauce for hours, letting the flavors meld together, and then serve it over spaghetti for a meal that felt both satisfying and special. Spaghetti bolognese became the go-to comfort food for busy weeknights, but with every bite, it felt like a warm family gathering. 24th is chili con carne.
Hi guys, it's Warren here, and here is my recipe for homemade beef chili con carne.
Chili con carne was the ultimate comfort food of the 1970s, offering bold flavors and filling warmth in every bite. Made with ground beef, kidney beans, tomatoes, and a medley of spices like chili powder, cumin, and garlic, it quickly became a family staple. Whether served over rice, with cornbread, or on its own, chili con carne was the perfect dish for feeding a crowd or enjoying leftovers the next day. This one-pot wonder was easy to prepare, making it ideal for busy families. Its rich, savory flavor with just the right amount of spice made it a crowd pleaser at family gatherings and weeknight dinners alike. Plus, it was endlessly customizable. You could add bell peppers, onions, or extra heat depending on your taste. Chili con carne's simple ingredients and satisfying flavors made it more than just a meal. It was a reminder of cozy nights spent around the table with loved ones. A timeless classic, it remains a go-to for those seeking comfort and heartiness in a bowl. And the last meal is Spanish rice soup.
We have a super delicious recipe to kick off the week. We're talking a traditional Spanish rice soup. Now,
Spanish rice soup was a hearty and flavorful dish that became a family favorite in the 1970s. This comforting soup combined tender rice, tomatoes, onions, and bell peppers, all simmered in a savory broth with a touch of cumin and chili powder for added warmth and depth. It was the perfect balance of spice and freshness, offering a satisfying meal that could be enjoyed on any day of the week. What made Spanish rice soup so appealing was its versatility. It could easily be made vegetarian, or beefed up with ground beef or chicken for extra protein. The dish was often served with a sprinkle of cheese, a dollop of sour cream, or a side of warm tortilla chips, making it feel even more comforting and complete. Spanish rice soup was quick to prepare, making it an ideal option for busy families. Its simple ingredients and robust flavor made it a beloved dish that was both filling and easy to make. Whether as a standalone meal or paired with a light salad, it's a dish that still carries the warm, nostalgic flavors of the past. These classics capture the flavors and nostalgia of 1970s family dinners, bringing back memories of simpler, heartwarming meals.